I've mentioned before that I attend NF women and NF co-ed calls. It seems like for the last year at least, and it's made a difference for me to speak with other NFs because it's helps me feel less crazy. Um, and today I spoke to one of the NFs. I think she's an ENFJ. Yeah, and she's been completely supportive of me. And we have a lot of parallels. And I thanked her before, in particularly because she said to me that not everyone appreciates the authenticity, whatever that means. I don't know how she sees it, but anyway, um, I read this article a couple of years ago, and I shared it with her, and because I remembered it, I am sharing it now about INFJ least satisfied in relationships. Mm. And I'll just add my personal commentary reading the article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll leave it on the comments section. Oh, I'm just playing around with Zoom. Mm. Yeah, Zoom is pretty fun. Um, so many options. I'll just use that. Introvert Dear, written by Caitlin Greco, July 28th, 2020. One big reason INFJ struggles with romantic relationships. INFJs don't have to struggle so much with relationships if we get comfortable voicing our needs. That is a huge part of it. Voicing your needs. That's the biggest struggle I've had for a long time in any relationship. Um, we're not simple creatures. Many INFJs are not good at identifying their own feelings and asking for what they want in a relationship, at least not with practice. When you're single and looking for a relationship, most people will ask you what's your type or what are your hobbies? And those are definitive sensory questions that help determine characteristics most people base their romantic relationships on, i.e., appearance, humor, social status, and vibes. However, INFJ is not a simple creature. We do not know what those questions mean. If we're attracted to someone's looks, we might not be attracted to their intellect. If we find someone with a stable job, they might be boring, but stability is very important to us. I don't really, I don't really know about that one. I don't really see somebody as what they do for a living. But I do remember dating an ENFP who I just felt so out of sorts with. I just felt like there was no room in my life or in his life for me. And then 20 years fast forward, I still felt that way. Um, I also noticed that if I am attracted to somebody physically or with vibes or intellectually, if I notice that he has like a lot of characters in his life, I automatically feel like there's no room for me. So I don't even entertain it. I didn't realize that about myself. Okay, INFJs overanalyze the crap out of relationships and within good reason. We are skilled at identifying the hidden motives of others, so we imagine 10 different scenarios with person A and 10 different scenarios with person B, only to come up with five completely unrelated scenarios with person C and no closure. And INFJs like closure. Why INFJs overanalyze? So why do we overanalyze? Is it because our perfectionistic tendency or idealistic expectations? Maybe because we're empaths and we absorb other people's emotions, so we don't want to burden them with ours. I honestly don't think so. I think the root of our overanalysis is we have a lot of insecurity around our own emotions. We may struggle as much as a thinker type, like the INTJ, to verbalize what is going on in our heads. We may fail to find the perfect sentence to sum up our needs, so we resort to silence, to score keeping, to expecting the other person to consume our emotions and read them like we are a plot point in a romance novel. Or we struggle to identify our boundaries for our relationship. We struggle with people pleasing and relinquishing our control and saying anything that might make the other person even slightly uncomfortable. When we fail to voice our needs, for example, I struggled to voice my emotions so much that I was on a date with my boyfriend and I was so thirsty, I felt like I was going to pass out, but I did not once ask him for a glass of water. I did not once say I didn't feel well. Instead, I smiled and nodded and hurried the date along so I could get back to the refuge of my car and guzzle a piping hot water bottle that had been sitting in the car for 2 weeks. Why did I not simply ask for a glass of water? I don't know. I think I might not have wanted to inconvenience him or disrupt the flow of conversation or be needed in any way at all. To be clear, INFJs aren't the only personality type that sometimes fails to voice their needs and desires, but it does tend to be a big problem for us. When we INFJs fall into this trap, we wind up unfulfilled. This leads to resentment. And when we become so resentful, we resort to the infamous door slam. For me, it's so much easier to resort to a place of logic rather than by voicing my feelings. It's why I like my job working in the finance world. I think it's easier to be analytical rather than emotional. Except I'll be super emotional if you tell me about your ex-boyfriend cheating on you over the 4th of July weekend. I get super excited for you when you tell me about your promotion at work. But when I do something that's worth talking about, I turn into a thinker and rationalize that it's not humble to be proud of myself or nobody really wants to hear what I have to say. How to check in with your feelings. So why does it matter? It matters because even though INFJs are great counselors, we can suck at dissecting our own feelings. That's because when we turn inward, we go to a place of analysis rather than feeling. When we turn outward, we present a stunning knack for picking up the temperature of the room. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, I drink a lot of water, and I've been with an ISFJ for the last 7 years, and I remember a couple of handful of times over the years, like, I need water. Why don't you have water? And then he would feel horrible for not having water ready. We're not the only ones. Um, Well, I just did this recording because I have a few minutes before I go to the archery league and have a fantastic time.